Welcome to the Sharpe Show. Yes, it is Thursday, and usually we do Tuesdays with this bit, sometimes Wednesdays. I guess we do whenever now, just how that works. Happy to have you here, 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and there were so many things I wanted to talk about, so many. But the thing that I always love doing, because I know you ask for it often, and it is good, is you ask me to comment on the insanely bad constant press conferences that my terrible mayor and my also terrible governor do constantly. And they're constantly out front saying, look, we're going to do this cool thing because we're smart and savvy and we care. And they say things that make no sense constantly. Or they do things that don't matter to New Yorkers constantly. But the worst part is how many people get behind them and how the media almost never calls them out. Here or there, a little bit, but hardly ever. But I will. This is another great installment, as always, of basically Thursdays with Kathy and William, right? Kathy Hochul, William DeBlasio, my people, my governor, my mayor. And if you live in New York City, I'm sorry, yours too. New York State, you share the governor with me. Not the mayor, at least, but you do share the governor with me. And as always, guys, please like, comment, and share. I know I bug you every time. It matters because I get shadow banned. You've seen it. You've watched it. Help. This does matter. Please do that so we can rock and roll. But before we do that, let me show you what my new Lord and Master has said just recently, yesterday, I believe. Here is her talking about what matters most to New Yorkers. Matters most.
Homeland Security and Emergency Services. So we'll get started with today's report. One thing I do want to say that we would have had one more seat here this morning to join us.
But why didn't we?
Dr. Bassett will not be joining us.
Oh, wait a minute. So one of the doctors won't be there? Okay, why?
She has tested positive through a COVID rapid test. Everyone who sees me is tested, or all the team that comes through here is tested every day.
You are royalty.
We're following the strict protocol. Should be having another PCR test just to confirm.
Okay, wait. She got COVID, so that's weird. I'm going to guess. I mean, I could be wrong. That she has been vaccinated is my assumption, right? And probably got the booster, probably got like extra boosters. She got all the good stuff, I'm assuming, right?
That. So in the meantime, we're going to take all the necessary precautions. And she left the office immediately, and we're just waiting for those results. Of course, she is vaccinated and boosted, so this would be a breakthrough case, but she's
the rare breakthrough case, which is sadly one of becoming most of them. Okay, keep going.
Feeling fine, and we're thinking about her and her family, and
she's feeling fine
all
with
the
no
New
symptoms.
Yorkers who are
she
just
didn't
having
know
their
that she
family
even had
plans
it
disrupted because of this virus. So,
reminder:
there's no better time to be vaccinated and boosted and wear your masks.
I want to be clear: she got sick, so she gets to go home early for Christmas and hang out with her family. That's literally what's happening right now. No symptoms, as they said. So I tested positive. Here's my positive test. What does that mean? I get to go home and hang out with my family early. We feel sorry for her. What?
And your symptoms, if it's following the trends that we've been experiencing thus far, will not be very serious.
So if you're following the trends so far, it will not be serious. So she's saying that this is not serious. Okay, I'm happy. So since this is not serious, I think we'll be fine then, right? We can all just go back to work, correct?
So what did I do today?
Got
on the road again. It was great to be out everywhere from Wyoming County to Tioga County to
and I know what
Broome
you were talking
County
about. You went to those rural counties, and the first thing you talked about in Wyoming County, which is a huge farmer area, she went out there and said, let me show you how I'm going to get your farmers back in action. Let me show you how I'm going to help you in your small farms fight against the massive farms. Let me help you deal with the problems that we're having with truckers and all those issues. I'm going to help you fix that because that matters to you. Or I'm going to make sure that we deal with the opioid crisis, which right now, when it comes to people 18 to 45 in America, number one killer, opioids. So I'm going to jump on that. That's what I'm doing when I go out to these areas that are being infected heavily by fentanyl and other opioids. So this is what she jumped on clearly.
Quick step up in Wayne.
What'd you do?
But I had a chance to do some things that were important to me.
Important?
First of all, to thank the healthcare workers who are on the front line every single day.
Oh, the ones you fired? Or, the ones left. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. The ones you fired, they weren't there because they were home. But yes, okay. So the ones that you did not fire, those are the ones you wanted to thank. But what about the ones who had been there that you fired? Did you go to their houses and thank them? I don't think
When
you
I
did.
went to the hospital, the community hospital in Warsaw, in Wyoming County,
What'd you do?
just to have a chance to talk to the nursing staff, the skilled nursing staff, the head of the hospital, as well as a lot of nurses. These individuals are just incredible. They're tired.
Yep.
They've been working so hard,
Yep.
but they never show it. They say every single day, no matter how exhausted and exasperated
you
they
fired
feel,
10% of
because
them.
they also know that
It's
it
true.
did not have to be this way. We did not have to have so many hospitalizations, and even a small hospital, it has 24 beds filled with patients, and nearly half are COVID patients. And so this is putting a real stress on our smaller upstate healthcare
It is.
systems. And
Because you fired so many healthcare workers and you didn't add any extra beds. So yeah, you're right.
this is even before this Omicron surge hits upstate. So we
But you
knew the
just said
winter surge was coming.
the
We've
surge is
been
not a big
talking
deal.
about this. That's one of the reasons I also went to a vaccination site, a test site down in Broome County.
You talked about vaccinations. You didn't talk about the farmers getting crushed or the opioid crisis at all. You just went to the hospitals and thanked the people who you didn't fire. And then you went, okay, to a vax place. All right, that makes you're on brand at least. I'll give you that. You're on brand.
And I had a real good conversation with her and thanked our National Guard. But as we talk about this winter surge,
They had to replace the fire
and
people.
the vertical increase in the number of cases, and it is vertical, it's going straight up.
Yes.
This is not March of 2020.
It's not.
It is not even December of 2020.
Okay, not those two.
And I'll talk about why we don't even make those comparisons, because
Don't make
they're
the
not
comparisons.
comparable to what we went
Okay,
through
we're
when
not
we
gonna
did not
compare
have
those two.
vaccinations and boosters and the knowledge we have.
We didn't have vaccinations or boosters then. That's true. We didn't. But we now have more cases than ever. And I literally mean that. We have more cases than ever. Something's wrong here.
Now, we're taking it very seriously. This
know
does
you
not
are.
mean we're not being very aggressive in our approach.
Okay, why are you taking it so seriously and being so aggressive when you've just told me that it's not a big deal?
Been since the very beginning, but we have to just meet this moment with action, and
Why?
not fear, but also just lean into the
You're
strengths
literally
we know
making
we
us afraid?
have, and that we'll get through this. And so asking everyone to do something that you're going to hear from me over and over.
No, what? What do I know. You're going to tell us. You're going to tell us something that you know, because you care about our health. I know. You're going to tell us to eat better. You're going to tell us to exercise more. You're going to tell us to have better mental health. You're going to tell us to meditate. You're going to tell us to have better relationships with our family and friends, lower our stress level, sleep better, get some sunlight. You're going to tell us all those things, right?
Vaccinations.
Oh,
Get
vaccinations.
the booster shot.
Booster shot. Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. That was dumb of me. I thought you were going to try to encourage us to be healthy in all the both mental and physical ways that were important. That was dumb. I'm sorry. Yes. The only thing you should worry about for your health is drugs. That's it. You're right. I sorry.
Tested.
That's it.
Stay home if you're not feeling well.
Don't go to work.
And that's how we're going to.
Don't go to work. So if you don't feel good, don't go to work. What are you going to work for? Don't go to work. Don't do that. Or you can do what they do in New York City. Instead of going to work, literally sit outside for 3 hours to get a COVID test. Why? Are you feeling symptoms? No. Are you seeing your family? No. So why are you going to get a COVID test? Because it might have COVID. Why would you think that? Because my government's been yelling at me to get a COVID test for the past month like there's no tomorrow, and that's all I hear and see, so I have to get a COVID test. But you have no symptoms, right? No, none. Are you going to go see anybody? No. Shouldn't you be at work? Yeah, I should, but I'm going to sit out here online for 3 hours to get a COVID test. So to be clear, you don't think you have COVID, correct? But you're going to go to a place that's probably filled with people who have COVID to get a test to see if you have COVID. Yes. And somehow that all makes sense.
To get through this together, New York. I know we can do this. Let's take a look at some of the numbers.
Let's do that.
Yesterday, we broke another record with 23,391 cases.
We broke another record of cases. Huh. How about with deaths or hospitalizations? No, just cases. Okay.
You can see the cases per 100,000 people.
Them going
has
up.
been rising.
That's high.
A 4 times time increase in cases from last week. We had about.
I thought this was epidemic of the unvaxxed. Isn't that what they told us? Isn't that what I heard? I don't know.
6,000 on last Sunday to 23,000 this Monday. So
Going
that is a very high spike in cases.
Or is it that's the number of people who are going to get tested because you told these people to get tested? And people who probably have no symptoms whatsoever are getting tested. Could be that.
We've been watching this closely, just what we've been seeing in the places it started in other places of the world, just what we're seeing all over this country.
Okay.
Something that was foreseen once Omicron made its way to this nation. And
Wait a minute. Omicron's everywhere? That can't be true. Biden closed the border, right? Isn't that what he did? He said the Africans can't come here anymore. So that didn't work, huh? Yeah, because shutting the borders like that when it comes to an epidemic doesn't work. I didn't like it when Trump did it. I didn't like it when Biden did it because it doesn't work. It's not helpful. People are going to travel. Even if you close, we officially have a border in the South. I mean, ish. So that's not really working either. So I don't know.
This was going to be the case. But we are starting to see some other encouraging news from the other nations that have been affected. Those numbers went up quickly and they dropped quickly. And that's what we expect to see.
So the other nations who are not as vaccinated as us, they went up and then came down pretty quickly. So we have to, because clearly that's happening. So what that means is we have to act aggressively, as she said, and forward in the heart. Why?
Happening, as well as
people are not
in
dying.
Cases where people are vaccinated and boosted. Again, the severity is not what it was at all with respect to Delta or even our early variants of this.
It's actually getting less.
That's something just to keep in mind when we're just calibrating a response. We're going to be as aggressive as possible, and we have been. But
why? Okay, here's a message. All right, look, you should get vaccinated. That's all that matters. Nothing else matters. Okay, now most of us are vaccinated. Great, got it. So now this variant, not that big of a deal. No worries whatsoever. So everyone get tested. The world's going to end. Let's put more lockdowns.
But in terms of people's own personal anxiety about it, just know that it's...
You could stop talking about it and we might have less anxiety about it. You and DeBlasio are literally talking, every other day or every day about it. You could stop talking about it and people might not be scared. You could stop yelling vaccine test every 5 minutes and we might not be scared. I'm just saying, you could just go, hey, New York, why don't you try to live your life? You could do that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Very likely to be minor symptoms if you're vaccinated and boosted.
Very likely.
Another very important metric to us are our daily hospitalizations.
Okay.
Sadly, we had 60 people die yesterday. Their families will be devastated during this holiday season. People who had been hospitalized, very sick, and this is just a horrific time of the year to have to experience this loss. And that is why our hearts go out to these individuals and their families, and their loved ones, their neighbors, their friends. But also a reminder that we have to take the steps now to make sure that everybody we love is with us for the next holiday season. And we have.
So that means, because we have to take the steps, you heard what she said. We have to take the steps to ensure that everybody we love is still with us for the next holiday season. So I'm assuming what she means then is she's going to make sure that nobody smokes because cancer is a big killer. She's going to make sure we all eat right because cancer is a big killer. She's going to make sure we all lose weight and exercise because heart disease, big killer. She's going to make sure that that we legalize cannabis so that people can get off of drugs because the biggest cause of death for people 18 to 45 is fentanyl overdose. She's going to stop that too, right? Is that what she meant? Or did she mean she's going to focus only on COVID, which in this country is the number 6 killer of Americans this year? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. It's not in the top 5 of things that kill Americans. It's number 6. So I'm going to focus all of what we're doing on the sixth largest killer of Americans. That's what I'm going to do. Because did she roll a 20 how to die, come up 6 and go, that's the one I'm working on? Is that how she did it? I mean, maybe she did. She played Dungeons and Dragons and she rolled a 20 how to die and went 6. I'll focus on that one. There's a whole lot others you could be focusing on, but all right, I guess we'll do this one.
The power over that. But the hospitalizations, if you look at where we were on this graph, beginning March of 2020, April, very, very high numbers of people hospitalized in our state.
But I thought we weren't going to compare.
Just to compare.
You literally said we're not going to compare, and now you're comparing.
Almost a year ago, a higher spike. You can see the trend is starting to head upward.
I thought we weren't going to compare.
But it also, because this Omicron variant is not resulting in such severe cases that require hospitalization, we may not hit those peaks again. But we're preparing. We're preparing for the worst.
Why?
And that's what I've been focused on.
I know you've been focused on that.
In particular.
The sixth number one killer.
So we had people hospitalized, but we're still under.
We are not going to compare to March 2020 or December 2020. We're just going to talk about comparison and then have a slide that says March 2020, December 2020. Shelly, stop comparing. Okay? Enough with the comparing. She said we're not gonna. You can see that. Enough. You and your comparing. Stop.
2/3 of what we were this time last year during the winter surge. So let's just remember that. Again, I mentioned it's not March of 2020. It's not even December 2020, just to keep things in perspective. And it is milder than Delta. We had
milder than Delta. I agree.
Give a quick update on Omicron, and we're still keeping a close eye on the science and the data. But from the early reports and what we've seen in other countries and elsewhere, this does seem to be more minor, and that's a very good dynamic.
Yes.
So what do we have to fight against?
What do we have to fight? Tell me.
To fight with.
We're going to fight
with the vaccination.
That's it. There is nothing but vaccines. Nothing but that. Okay? Nothing. So, Nancy, stop pretending like being healthy matters. It doesn't. The only thing that matters is taking a drug. That's it. Who cares if you have good personal relationships, or if you're eating right, or taking your vitamins, or exercising, or having good mental health, or close to your family and friends, and you feel loved and cared. This means nothing. What matters is taking a drug. So why don't you guys stop pretending? She's showing you right now all those who took the drug. Done.
I'm really, really pleased that we've had over 3 million doses just since December 1st.
That says in New York State, at least one dose, so vax at least once, 18 plus, every adult, 94%. 94% vaccinated in New York State. Yet we got an explosion in cases. How is that? It's her numbers. I'm not making these numbers up. And then who got 2 doses? And some of those even have the booster. 82%. That's her numbers, not mine. Her numbers right there, 82%. 82% have 2. 94 got 1. Is the only answer 105%? I don't know what the answer is.
First, thank you, New Yorkers. Those of you who may have been waiting a little bit, you wanted to have more time to think about it and, have more time lapse from the beginning when this first entered the marketplace. And now I really thank you for doing the right thing. So that's an enormous jump.
Thank you for supporting
we'll be hitting 95% of people with at least one dose.
Husband works
that
in
is incredible.
We are making a killing,
18.
guys. Thank you. I'm buying a new house in
vaccines,
Florida, obviously. I'm not here in New
82%.
York. So
like to see that higher.
Should be buying a new house in
those
Florida.
people who have had one dose.
Thanks.
And have not had the second one and are eligible, you
Look at how she
do not
smiles.
want to wait.
It's
Don't
like
wait a
cha-ching.
second longer. You want to make sure that you are protected. Where we need improvements.
Tell me.
More children need to get vaccinated.
Kids.
So mom and dads.
100% kids. Because kids are dying left and right of COVID. Oh, wait, no, they're not. Because kids are spreading it. Oh, wait, no, they're not. Well, because schools, without question, are absolutely super spreader events. Oh, no, they're not. Why do kids need it again? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? Who? Yeah. No. Why? And again, this is 12 to 17. Her numbers: 74% of kids 12 to 17 got at least one. Her numbers: 2/3 of kids in this state 12 to 17 have got the full dose too. I guess 105% is the only answer. We got to get your babies too. Everybody. The kids don't even spread it. The kids don't get it. I mean, relatively. Obviously, there are cases where it does happen. As a general rule, kids don't get it. Kids don't spread it.
And dads, use this holiday break to go into one of our ever-expanding locations.
Merry
Not
Christmas.
just your pediatrician office if you can't get an appointment.
Oh, my God. You know what my kids want for Christmas? A shot. Oh, my God. Did she just say that? Merry Christmas. Here's your shot.
You can go to one of our vaccination sites.
That's what I'm going to
They're
do.
on every corner. They're everywhere throughout the state. There's literally thousands of locations you can get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
And we encourage you to do so. Get your children protected before they head into the next school year. So I do want to take a moment to share with some of our winter surge plans that we're
winter surge
undertaking.
plans.
Some
Well, now
we've
we
spoken
set.
about and some
Okay.
are newer.
Glad we got those.
We want to talk
feel
about
better
again,
already.
focusing on the boosters. 80,000 people got a booster shot yesterday. I
Look at
was
that.
really delighted to see that.
You were like, man, is my stock portfolio going to shoot up? All you guys are getting boosters? Whoo, I'm going to buy 2 houses. One in Colorado and one in Florida. Nice. Keep buying.
That's nearly 1.4 million boosters since December 1st. People are getting the message. They're hearing what we're saying every single day about these, and you can see the increase throughout the state. I'm really pleased to see that. So right now we've had about 40% of New Yorkers who are eligible for a booster.
I'm waiting for the part. She's been talking 10 minutes. Where's the part she's going to talk about inflation? I'm waiting for that part. Is that part coming out? The inflation part? Or the fact that workers, or the fact that businesses can't get workers to work? Is she going to talk about that part of the economy that's collapsing? Or the fact that for the 3rd year in a row, New York State is leading the nation in people leaving the state or it's officially over 300,000 people leaving New York State? Over 300,000. I know it's 500,000, but that's fine. We'll go with their numbers. With 300,000 people leaving the state? Huh. Is she going to talk about that one? Maybe that's her next one. That's the next part.
Let's get that up to,
right there.
I'd like to see it hit 70, 80, 90%. There's no reason. If you're willing to get a vaccination and the boosters are now available and you're eligible, again, not everyone's eligible. There's a certain time lapse between the time you received either your Pfizer or your Moderna vaccination or your J&J.
If you want to get the first one.
So when that time hits, whether it's 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, you need to be ready in line to get that booster. Because so many people have gotten their first vaccination, particularly all the healthcare workers this fall, a lot of our workers that
they all thought that once they got the vaccine, they had their life back. That's what they thought, right? You were just kidding, but they didn't know that was a joke. They thought, right, that if they did what you told them to do, that if they followed first the king's orders and now the queen's orders, if your royal decree was followed, that you would show, a monarch's mercy upon them and allow them to go back to work and to have their lives again, allow them to go back to school and let everything happen again. That's what they thought. And you went, no, I was kidding. Guys, you guys know a joke?
Required to be vaccinated, they are not yet eligible. So this number is going to continue to move up, but it's not going to be a huge jump because we have a lot of people who won't even be eligible for a number of months. But at least they got the vaccination and they're on the path, which we're very happy about.
Sure.
So also for our winter surge plan,
we're fighting good winter surge. Okay.
We took a number of steps already. I want to talk about them.
Tell me about these steps.
Since last week, we announced 40 new vaccination sites.
40 new sites
this past week.
Well, that's
and I also want to focus on the counties that are doing the right thing and that have been.
Some counties doing the right thing. Some of you counties, you're not.
Our allies and making sure that we ensure that people are compliant with our protocols related to masks and vaccinations.
Some aren't following, though.
Anywhere indoor other than residences, particularly businesses, restaurants, shops, the large big box stores, event gathering spaces.
Every place.
We really appreciate those who
sew the mask directly
front lines of this, making sure that this happens. I wanted to go thank some of our counties out there today. The county leaders who are doing the right thing, but I also have heard from a number of them. That while they support what we're doing with masks and vaccinations, they also needed more resources to get this done. And
that's what it is. See, you guys thought that there were some people, some sheriffs and some executives in New York State who actually were against the mandates. This is what you guys thought. See, you thought that. You did. Sam was like, I bet some people are against it. It isn't that they're against it. They just don't have the resources. See, that's the problem. They're actually supporting. They're for it. She just said it. They support it, but they don't have the resources. So that's why they're not going to do it. So she's going to give them money. Sorry, she's going to give them resources. I'm sorry. She's going to bribe them. Sorry. She's going to help them. She's going to help them to do it right.
We got them for you. So we are putting on the table $65 million to help them associate with the costs for the protocol.
Now, you guys might say, that's New York State helping. That's not New York State helping. That's New York State bribing. This is why having such a centralized government is a bad idea. Because now this works with this, but this works with everything. Do as I say, county. County goes, no, it's not good for my county. There's $65 million here. Would you like some of this money to do things like fix your roads and such? Would you like to have some of this money? Oh, and if you don't get this money, I'll tell everybody in your county, we'll do commercials against you saying you didn't take the money. You didn't care about your constituents. We'll run somebody against you that says you didn't take the money. I'm not joking. That's what actually happens. So here's $65 million. You want that money? Do as we say. Or don't, and then watch what happens.
We put in place, and I will be ensuring that there's at least $1 million available for the small counties, which is not insignificant, and up to $2 million for the larger counties.
See that?
And they will be able to use this for creative ways for enforcement. Some are
creative ways for enforcement. Now, that's some good wordsmithing right there. That's creative ways for enforcement. That does not mean at all right, Joe? That does not mean giving money to cronies. It doesn't mean that. It's not what she said. She said creative ways of enforcement.
We're doing things like purchasing thousands of masks and having teams of individuals take them to the stores and the rest.
Because stores can't buy masks. That's impossible. Stores don't know how to buy goods. They have no idea. So government has to buy masks and bring them to the stores. That's what she just said. Am I making that up? Then you can have teams of people to bring goods to stores, because stores don't know how to do that. Stores have no idea how to buy stuff and put them in stuff. They don't know. They're just stores. So the government can hire my friends and family to go bring masks to stores, because that makes sense.
Restaurants in their downtown areas to make sure that there's enough supply when people walk in the door, they can just hand somebody a mask.
See that?
Or if they want to help.
If I go into a store, and you know what happens all the time when you go to stores, particularly in places like New York City, where you know every single store requires a mask, you might walk into a store without a mask. Never. And then there'll be someone there to hand you a mask, because I don't know why. This is just a giveaway of money. And the problem is you keep giving away money. All our government does is give away money. That's it.
Supplement the staff to make sure that there's compliance, where they want to set up a call center for people to make complaints, where they want to ship signs to places.
Why would you make a complaint? So now you can hire, this is true. You can hire your friend who owns a call center or runs a call center, which may not even be in New York State. Might be in, I don't know, Oklahoma or something. Who knows? Could be in Kansas. A call center. So you can have a snitch line. Yes, I said it. A snitch line. I'm calling because this guy, Eric, is walking around and he doesn't have a mask on. So I'm calling a snitch line. And they can then call the cops and fine Eric. This way they can make some more money. So I know you can't make money from taxes because we've shut the economy down. But you know what we can do? Get you some snitch money. We can do that in a heartbeat.
So we want to make sure that we pick up the costs of this. I appreciate all their cooperation, and I want them to know we'll be letting them know.
We want to make sure we pick up the cost, like you make money. You don't make money. You take our money. You're not the Fed. At least the Fed will just magically make money with the money machine. I mean, I hate that too, but at least they're just doing that. You don't do that. So that means you just put us into more debt. We already are about $500 billion in debt.
How they can get this money as soon as possible. So this will be from the date that the protocol went into effect until January 15th. Okay. However, we reserve the right to assess that deadline. But if all goes well,
the right to
we will be able to suspend it as hoped for. But
it's 2 weeks to flatten the curve is all it is. It's 2 weeks.
We'll not be making that determination until we get a lot
2 years.
giving the various.
I know you all thought they said 2 weeks to flatten the curve. You weren't hearing right. What they said was 2 years to flatten the curve. So just just being honest. By the time March 2020 comes, we will have flattened the curve. See?
The fluctuation in this situation. We also, as part of our winter surge plan, have been texting people.
See that?
Sent out, we spent 3.4 million texts already, went out Saturday through today.
So I took more taxpayer money, gave it to our cronies who run call centers and robocall and text centers. Yes, I'm not joking. Again, much more of a government grift. They decided, we'll just use a government grift this time, and then we'll do texts and robocall reminders of people to get stuff. Is there anyone, and this is an honest question, is there someone who is in New York State now who's walking around going, hold on, check my phone. What? There's a vaccine? Why didn't someone tell me this? There's a vaccine. Hey, Joe, there's a vaccine. Did you know that? I had no idea. Maybe I should go and get one. Is anyone doing that? I think everyone gets that there is a vaccine. So why are you robocalling somebody? To act like you're doing something? No, to grift more money. There's literally no need for robocalls or text reminders. There's no one in New York State going, text, what's this text from? From the governor? What? I can get a vaccine? I'd know. Oh, wear a mask? Oh, I've never heard of such things. Thank you, Governor. That happened to nobody. To nobody.
To remind people who have 2 doses to get their booster. We're also reminding people who've only had the 1 dose that they're required to get, or we want them to get that.
Do you see that Freudian slip? They're required to get the. Oh, I mean, we would like them to. No. It's required.
Come on, unless it was J&J. Also, we have 3.4 million robocalls going out. So pick up your phones. Everything. You may be hearing from.
Pick up your phone, because it might be our robocall. Anyone watching this, why would you want to pick up your phone? You're watching this. I don't require the robocall. You've just told me what to do.
Dr. Bassett. Those reminders are going out this week as well. So just keeping that constant drumbeat going that we're in a winter surge. We forecasted this. It's here. We are looking at a vulnerable gathering time, a time of great joy. And I'm glad so many families will be able to get together to celebrate Christmas in a couple days, Christmas Eve, New Year's. Kwanzaa, through all of our great holidays of this winter season. And you can do it safely. We don't want to discourage people from gathering.
You are literally discouraging people from gathering.
Do what you know is smart and keep those masks on when you're with people.
Keep them on in your own house. Wear a mask forever. Don't ever stop.
If you don't know if they're vaccinated, for sure.
I don't know if they're vaccinated. Wear a mask.
So we also wanted to know that, speaking of masks, we are going to be distributing 6 million masks directly to.
Hold on. I want you to look at what that says. Mask Actions, a division of Homeland Security. I thought, silly me, right? I'm the dummy. I thought that Homeland Security was fighting those outside threats that were coming on into us, like Al Qaeda and such. That's what I thought it was about. I guess I'm wrong. Now, Homeland Security hands out masks now. 6 million. Homeland Security does that. And it hands out masks to county emergency managers because there's no way they could buy them on their own. That's impossible. Without Homeland Security stepping in, who would know how to buy a mask? It's impossible.
County managers, county emergency managers.
I guess they're helping.
We'll get them out to people as soon as possible. We hope that they'll get them out to the businesses, the schools, the libraries, and other community-based organizations.
Because everybody's flocking to the library. It's true.
And if you want to have a bad flashback, remember what it was like in the early months of the pandemic, and we were scouring the earth.
No. If you remember the early pandemic, I was the one who was talking about how we should just let people just make masks. Remember that idea? And I was saying we could let people sell them without sales tax. Remember that? Motivating people to have cool masks and make it sexy and fun. We could actually make some money. And the best part, sell goods and services back. Remember that? That's the economy piece that you hate so much. Remember that? I remember that.
Paying exorbitant prices to places like China because there was such a limited supply and the supply chain challenges were extraordinary.
Yeah, but there were no supply train challenges in the beginning. Remember? It was later on. It was just that you guys hoarded them and screwed up so badly. Remember that?
So we're in again, another example of we're in a far better place with PPE and
So let's
ventilators.
act
We have
aggressively.
7,000 ventilators in reserve, and I'm going to get you an overview of what we're doing here. So also testing. Everyone's talking about testing.
Yes.
We are now having.
I don't want you to be afraid. Okay, Alice, don't be afraid. But test! Test! You probably have it. You're going to kill people. But don't be afraid. Wear 5 masks. But do not be afraid. I'm going to send you an in-home test. But don't be afraid, okay?
Available 10 million more free at-home tests.
They're
Every
free.
single day,
Nobody
we're
pays
putting
for
in
them.
more purchase orders.
Love
we
that.
had our 1 million delivered. Literally, the counties I were in today, I was in Wyoming County, and they had just received their 3,200. They were so great.
You know, they were so grateful. I remember all those farmers when I was in Wyoming, and the first thing they were saying, they were like, I don't care about my farm. I don't care if I go under. I don't care that I know every person I know knows someone who's addicted. No. What I care is that I get my at-home test that was free. They all said that. Every person I met in Wyoming County, the first thing they said was, what about my at-home test? First thing they said. Oh, wait, no, they didn't bring it up at all. I'm sorry. I was a little bit off. No, they did not say that. What they did is say nothing about at-home tests at all. It wasn't anywhere, even in their top 5 worries. But I guess they told you something.
So happy. So the counties are starting to see their deliveries come out.
The test came.
As well as the demand we know is continuing to be increased, and so we're accommodating that. Just yesterday we had, talk about tests, 258,000 people were tested yesterday. That's incredible.
That is amazing. How many of them had jobs? Just curious. How many of them had jobs? How many could pay their bills? How many can afford to visit their family and friends this year? How many of those? I mean, I'm glad they got tested. I am. I'm glad. I think that the travel and money part they would also care about.
A year ago, we had only far less than that. We are just a quarter of what we are today. So we're continuing to amass more supplies, get them out to the communities, and encourage people to get tests. So today we're announcing, in addition to what we've already ordered and have on order, 10 million, and Catherine will be speaking.
And it's free. The best part is New York State just buys it for free. And I mean, where does New York State get its money? Oh, yeah, that's kind of us. It may not be free after all, huh?
A little more about that. So I do want to turn it over to the crisis managers who are working to operationalize this right now, and that would be Catherine Garcia, Director of State Operations.
Catherine Garcia,
what
could go wrong?
Who is the Commissioner for Division of Homeland Security.
We are ready to go.
No, Catherine Garcia.
Oh, this Homeland Security we got here. All right,
Jackie Bray, who came to us fairly recently. I want to know in her background,
Tell me.
She coordinated hospital surge capacity during the height of COVID for New York City.
Wow, so she's a failure. Huh. Okay. So she's the one who didn't use the Javits Center or didn't use the USS Comfort when it came to New York City and we had those extra hospital beds. That will be her. So we found the person who was the least competent and who was responsible for the most deaths, literally the entire nation, New York City, the most deaths, period. And in my area, Queens, it was the worst ever. We brought her on the board and we said, you know what? You sucked so bad. Promotion to Homeland Security. I wish I was joking right now. I'm not.
So this is her area of expertise. We are so grateful to have someone with her background and experience to be able to help us, as well as she is the executive director of the Test and Trace Corps. So
the Test and Trace Corps, that also failed miserably. Oh my God. You found someone who failed like everything. You're like, wait a minute, you've only failed here. I don't know if we can hire you. No. I sucked at this too. Oh, you are terrible. I'm the worst. Hired. Awesome.
When you're in a foxhole and you're dealing with a war in front of you.
This is a war again. She's going back to foxholes and wars. First off, they haven't done foxholes since like the Korean War. But that's fine. That's okay. She doesn't know any better. But foxholes in a war. We're in a war now. This is a war. So, this is D-Day. She's brought us up before. She has brought up D-Day before. So this is the same as D-Day. Now, I know some of you are saying, my uncle, my father, my grandfather, they charged German machine guns in Italy at Anzio, or, they were charging, German machine guns in Normandy, or Japanese machine guns in Tarawa, or in Okinawa, or Iwo Jima. But you know what? Nothing like this war where you had to stay home, get paid by the government, and watch Netflix. Did your uncle have to watch Game of Thrones twice? No. So stop acting like he was a hero, okay? Did he have to get 3 shots and a booster? No. So stop acting like he was a hero. I'm the hero. I sat home and I watched Hulu and I got shots. So take that, Mr. Charging Machine Guns. She believes this, though.
These are the 2 individuals you want as your generals, so I think that.
So, and when I'm in a foxhole, what I want in my foxhole is 2 generals. You should probably stop with the war stuff because generals don't go in foxholes, and I sure as hell wouldn't want 2 of them in mine. I'm just saying. Let's just go.
And I'll let Catherine kick it off and let them talk about exactly where our tests are going and what's going on.
Okay.
Thank you,
Look
Governor.
at them. You have plastic in between the 2 of them, and they're masked up until they talk.
As you announced, we do have another 10 million over-the-counter tests coming to the state before the new year. We will have 5 million.
By the way, this one was almost the mayor of New York City. I'm not sure if she came in 3rd. She was almost the mayor, 2nd or 3rd. I think she came in 3rd. She was almost the mayor of New York City.
For the new year, and another 5 million in January. And this is, of course, in addition
to what?
To what we do on the data of the tests, because
Okay.
these are all at-home tests.
Okay.
About 2 million will be going to the school districts because
Okay.
we want to make sure that as kids come back in January, that we are keeping them in school.
Yep.
Another million.
What she means is keeping them in prison. School right now in New York City is prison. I wish I was joking. I'm not. I had to pull my daughter out because it's literally prison. Here's how New York City schools work. You go to the city, the school, you keep your mask on the second you step on the property of the school. So like you go on to the sidewalk. So you would think that kids would want to chat and talk and laugh and joke with each other because they're like 10, 11, 12 years old and do fun kid stuff. I mean, when you were a kid, I'm sure you chatted with your friends, whatever. When I was a kid, we did baseball cards or whatever they do now with their Switch or whatever they do, whatever's the cool thing now. But the kids do whatever the kids do because they're kids. They then head on over there and they have to put their mask on. They can't talk. They go in a hallway 3 feet apart because kid COVID jumps 3 feet, adult COVID jumps 6. That's how that works. So they say 3 feet apart, mask on in the hallways, can't talk. Go into the room, can't talk, 3 feet apart in the room, looking like they're in hospital beds, right? Like that. Then no recess because you might talk and hang out and run around. That would be healthy. That's bad. No recess. And at lunch, half eat while half sit around the floor. The other half eat in alphabetical order so they can't be with their friends and talk. I'm not joking. That's school right now. So she's proud of this. She's like, yeah, that's working. Keep our kids in prison. Why?
Tests will be going to the county emergency managers.
Oh, okay.
In addition, we are going to send 1.6 million tests to New York City, as well as 400,000 tests for our vaccine sites, so that if you are coming for a vaccine, you can take a test with you. I mean, this is good progress.
Yeah, and that's critical. I mean, it's critical. People stand in line for 3 hours and get a test and get a vaccine. Of course, that's what people care about.
But we still need more, and we need more partnership from the federal government.
I love the euphemisms. I always bring up the euphemisms. She said, we need more partnership from the federal government. What do you think partnership means? We would like more money for the feds to go, make more money to give us more money, because that is going to solve all our problems. We'll just keep buying stuff.
We need them to help make sure that there are tests available to.
How can they help make sure tests are available? How could the federal government make sure tests are available? By buying them and giving them to you with strings attached and controlling us even more. That's a way. I'm going to guess that's the way you're thinking.
Anyone who needs it, because we will continue beating the drum.
Yes, you will.
That we want you to be able to take personal responsibility and protect.
No, you don't. Now stop. We wait and take personal. You don't even know. You don't know what that phrase means. Like you do not know what that phrase means. Take personal responsibility. She might as well have just spoken Russian right now because she has no idea. She might as well have said, we just want blah, blah, blah. Same meaning in her head. She has no idea what that means.
Protect your loved ones by knowing whether or not you are positive with COVID, and to stop transmission. So we do call upon.
Let's stop transmission, because we know that if we get vaxxed, there'll be no Ooh. Yeah, wait. We're 92% vaxxed in New York State and got the most cases. Broke records. Yeah.
On the federal government to invoke the Defense Production Act to get manufacturers producing more over-the-counter tests. And we'll make sure that they have the letter out the door today.
Gonna force people. So see, the way that they do that is having the government force companies to make the tests. Or people could just want the tests. The market would then respond by selling them tests. I mean, that's a way of doing it. Or your way, which is have government force them to make it and sell to the government. That's a way to do it. I kind of think my way's better. People want the tests. Market makes the tests, and then people buy them because they want them. And then local communities, if they want to, if you would follow my rules, would happily, nonprofits would then take those tests, sell them as they want to make cash, so they have some cash available to give them out to people within their communities who need them. That was a thing that I said almost 2 years ago, that you could do without government being involved. Or your way, government forces businesses to make it and forces them to buy. That's another way.
Keep ramping up testing, vaccine sites, boosters.
Because it's working so well.
Can protect their loved ones.
We have the most cases ever.
But please, when you are getting the home test kits, make sure they are CDC or FDA approved.
Because CDC, FDA approved, you got to have those, right? Because those are the ones that work.
We don't want anyone to use something that is not going to give them the information they need.
I agree completely. Oh my God. Hold on. Wait a minute. What about this? Early CDC coronavirus test came up with inconsistent instructions that cost the U.S. weeks. Oh, because only the CDC could do it. I remember somebody, I think that guy he was a really handsome guy. Oh, right, me, who said, why don't we stop letting only the CDC make tests and actually let anybody who wants to make tests, and in fact, not even attack people who will use technology like 3D printing and things like that to make tests, and let anyone make tests. And as long as we have transparency, we'll find the right tests. And when that begins to happen, people will also find ways of administering the tests and giving the results of the tests. That will happen naturally, specifically in local communities. We could have done that 2 years ago. That's what I said, but you went, no, we have to make sure the CDC does it. And by the way, this is NPR saying the CDC sucked. This is not Fox News. This is this year. This is May of this year. So you know what? You better make sure you use the CDC, because what could go wrong? What could go wrong?
To keep them and their loved ones safe. And I want to turn it over to Commissioner Bray now to go through some.
It's almost like they don't even pay attention to what happened. It's like, I know we suck, but you got to trust us. Why? Well, we suck, but you got to trust us.
Additional details.
I'll give it to this person who's a total failure.
Thank you, Catherine. As Catherine mentioned, we're ramping up testing, and we want to make sure that New Yorkers have many ways to access testing.
Okay.
We know that there are long lines. That's because people are doing the right thing.
We know there are long lines. That's because people do the right thing. That's not because we're incompetent or because we've scared people into getting tests that they don't need at all. But it's fine.
They're seeking a test when they need it to keep each other safe. I want to remind everyone there's over 1,800.
They're gathering together in this area full of people with COVID to keep each other safe, because that makes sense.
Testing sites in New York State. You can locate the one closest to you at coronavirus.health.ny.gov. It's over 1,800 existing sites.
Nice.
As Catherine said, we're ramping up further. There'll be 5 million more over-the-counter tests
I'm still waiting for when they're going to talk about people getting hired again. Where's or inflation? Did I miss that part? I don't think I did.
Division of Homeland Security Emergency Services will be distributing.
What do I want in my city and my state? Division of Homeland Security. That's what I want. I want them in my state.
to all across the state. Our commitment to you is as soon as we get
Oh
them,
my God.
we will get them into your hands.
You are committed to me.
We're also adding tests at our mass vac sites, as Catherine said. We're opening up 7 new testing locations
Oh my God,
next
7
week,
new ones.
beginning the week of December 27th.
Great.
We'll have new state testing locations
It's
in
amazing.
Steuben County, Cuyahoga County, Orleans,
It's Cuyahoga,
Lewis,
that's fine.
Otsego, Nassau, and at least 2.
She is struggling to pronounce these names because she has no idea where any of them are. She has no clue. She's running the state Homeland Security, and she has no idea where any of those counties are. Clueless. Can't pronounce them. She's like, Cuyahoga, where is that? Is that one in North Country? She has no idea at all. At all. Clueless. Where these counties are, who's in them, no idea. She just knows someone wrote some stuff down. These weird words they wrote down. Is this New York? I don't even know. She has no clue. She's the one running things. This is the one running things. So I'm going to ask again, where's the part where people go back to work? Where's that
Here
part?
in New York City. And finally, we're bringing online a testing portal where New Yorkers can order at-home PCR tests.
That'll solve
They'll
it.
be mailed, overnight mail.
Okay. Who's
You
paying for
swab
that?
yourself, you put them back in the prepaid
Swabbing yourself
envelope,
sounds
and you
pretty
get
fun.
your results within 48 hours.
That's never going to happen. Let me guarantee you right now, you're not getting your results in 48 hours. The last guy I know here in New York City who took a test, took him 5 days. You're not getting your results in 48 hours. That's a fantasy. She's literally just making that up. That's absolutely not true. Never going to have it. Never going to happen. She's making this up. So, yeah. Now, and you know what you need to do? Who's paying for that? Did they make a deal with FedEx or something? Amazon's making more money? Amazon's making more cash. I love it.
We're finalizing a launch date for this portal, and we'll have those details at the end of this week.
You know, government websites always work. Never a problem. I'm sure this will be smooth as can be.
With that, I turn it back to the governor.
Oh, great. That was helpful.
Commissioner. I appreciate what
Okay.
you've done, and we'll continue to do. Please give our regard to your team as well. And as you heard, that we'll be sending a lot of testing kits to
Okay.
schools, and here's why.
Tell me why.
We are keeping our schools open.
Okay.
Let me
Sweden kept their schools open the entire time. Their entire time. Of course, Sweden has far less people than we have, right? It's about 15 million people in Sweden, give or take. And they got about 2 million kids in their school system. About 2 million, give or take. And you know how many kids died of COVID? 0. Zip. Not one. Because critical, schools.
repeat that. We are keeping schools open.
Okay.
Because
keeping
we're
the
dealing
prisons
with
open.
a very different variant at this time.
Yep.
We believe that it's critically important that our children not end up in that same situation they were for so many months when they were
Yes.
so displaced from their normal
Yes.
environment. They did not get the quality of education despite the best efforts of those incredible teachers and parents
that's
who
correct.
struggled every
Whose
single
fault was
day
that?
alongside their children just to deal with the circumstances we dealt
Yes,
with
it
last
is.
time. We're in a different environment, a different circumstance. And so part of our winter surge plan is we're committed to keeping our schools open. And so we wanted to make sure that school districts will follow the test to stay protocols and make sure that they're no longer required to have a PCR test for kids to return, but just a rapid test.
Just a rapid
But how are they
test.
going to get access to those tests? Well, we'll help out with it. We'll take responsibility.
You'll
And that
take
is why we're in
responsibility.
communication right now with the school superintendents, knowing there's a short break between now and
See
January
that? They're going to make sure they're going to focus on these kids. Why? I have no idea.
1st or January 3rd when the kids are back. And as we've ordered already, 2 million of the tests we have will be going.
They've spent literally 10 minutes on tests. And look, I have crossed this state multiple times. Multiple times. I'm on the phone calling people all the time. Never, not one time has anyone said, you know what my number one issue is, Larry? What's that? Testing for COVID, number one. That's all I care about. If I only got a test, I feel good. No one has told me that. Not one
right
person.
to the schools, and parents will be able to receive them. And here's what we want to have happen.
It's almost
Children
as
are in a
if
classroom.
They don't understand.
Someone
anything.
tests positive.
Yeah, what happens?
Ordinarily, they would have been sent home for a long period of time.
That's true.
And then even if they go back, someone tests positive again, the next week, they're sent home again. This
Yes.
is so disruptive to their education.
You've been doing that for a year and a half.
as well as the parents who've been desperately trying to get back to a normal life, get back to their jobs.
Who did
and the lack
this?
of child care has been just another.
I love how this is the same as what Cuomo used to do. Cuomo used to do this all. He'd be like, and then these people are doing this stuff. Dude, you ran it. You did it. You've been in charge. You were. Okay, let's be fair. She was not the governor at the time when this stuff started. True. Good point. I'll give her that. My question is, what was she saying then? Was she saying, this is a terrible idea, let's fix this? No, she was like, whatever you say, boss, I'm happy hanging out here.
Area of friction for these families that have been really hit so hard. So,
yeah, but you hit them.
Literally making sure that there's back in their backpacks, they'll be sent home 2 testing kits. Children test positive, we know it. Someone in the classroom, the kids in the classroom will be sent home with testing kits. So we're working on that supply chain right now. So starting in early.
You don't worry at all. Don't you worry about whether Christmas is going to come or not. Shut up. Stop. What matters is your kid, if they get COVID, will come home with 2 testing kits. See?
Early January, we'll be able to address that. So there's no reason why our children can't stay in school. Really, really important to me. Also, talking about education, we've been in contact with the leaders of our higher education institutions. Our SUNY school presidents and our private school presidents. And we're convening a symposium of those leaders to talk about.
That'll help. We'll put a symposium of college leaders together because that'll, to make our education better, you're going to get them all together so you can make the education better. So kids will get an education that's worth something. They'll get them a job, and they won't just be in 6 figures of debt with a piece of paper that they might as well just wipe their bottom with. So this is the reason, but this is finally, we're talking about something that matters. Thank you. Okay, finally we got it. We're going to have these college people together, and they're going to figure out how to have education not be the same value of toilet paper. In fact, toilet paper is more valuable than some education that we're getting. So I'm glad to hear this.
Getting back our college students when they return under normal circumstances a little bit later in January, and making sure they follow the same return protocols.
You're going to get them all together to make sure they're in line, they do what you say, and you won't give them money if they don't. I thought you were going to get them together to make a better education. That was stupid of me.
Don't have that disruption again to their education and what the professors and teachers and they had to go through, but also the economic impact. Many of our college campuses, particularly upstate, are in small towns. That is the livelihood of their economy, having those students in person. So whoa, okay, we're talking about the economy. I like this. Okay, so instead of you trying to have a better small business environment so that locally the people could grow their own economy, you want to make sure that the kids get forced into that place, and that economy that's based upon the one thing and that's in that town, which is like the college or the prison. You want to make sure those people go there so they keep spending money there. Okay, I guess it's something, I guess. For a number of reasons, it goes to my philosophy of protecting the health of individuals, protecting the health of New Yorkers, as well as protecting the health of the economy.
That's her philosophy. We're going to protect the health of the economy. You know, she's going to protect the economy. She's all about the economy, all about it. In fact, I remember when I was talking to someone outside New York State, when she first came and became the governor, people said, "Who's your new governor after Cuomo, resigned?" I said, "Well, it's Kathy Hochul." They said, "Kathy Hochul? You mean the woman who loves the economy?" I went, "Yes, that's correct. Kathy, I love the economy, Hochul. That's the one." They're like, "Oh, of course. Absolutely. Everybody knows she cares about the economy and loves the economy. That's all she talks about, except never." That's the first time she's brought the economy up in 20 minutes. It's the first time. She's gone literally entire press conferences, not bringing it up at all. And now she's like, "You know what I care about? What are my rules? The economy. That's what I care about." So I shut it all down. So I fire people. I shut things down. I create mandates to ensure nobody can go to work. I got that. I got it.
Okay. So also,
you know what? She loves the economy so much. She doesn't want it to work very hard. See, she doesn't understand. She likes it so much. She doesn't want it to work that hard.
I want to talk about some progress we've made.
Oh, okay, progress.
Not all gloom and doom. Our laser focus.
Laser focus.
Early on, you heard me talk about this. October, November, September, October, November.
Loves the economy.
Haven't been on the job that long, so I know it started in September. Talk about hospital capacity and how this is really the break point. If you don't have enough capacity and you have a high volume, a surge of individuals needing medical care in a hospital, that's when the system breaks down. That's what we've been so vigilant. So
that's what it is. Okay. Now I don't want you to see, if you can see what this here, if you can see what this note says here at the bottom, if I can, this bottom part here, if I can spin that for you right there. The bottom part doesn't say hospital capacity. There is a piece there, 7-day average available staffed acute beds. The key word there is staffed. We don't have a bed shortage. That's not the truth here in New York State. We do not have a bed shortage. We have a staff shortage because we fired them. We have a staff shortage, not a bed shortage. See, there's the issue. That's why the little thing says staffed, because the beds are there. The people aren't.
Fighting so hard against this.
Fighting and firing people.
In constant communication, but monitoring the numbers to see what their capacity is. So as you know, we enacted a program or a regulation that if you have less than...
No, it's a regulation. So I basically made a mandate.
10% bed capacity right now. You had to suspend for now your elective surgeries to free up not just the beds. It's not about the beds. It's mostly about needing more staff.
Yeah.
And so we've been successful in reducing the number of hospitals that hit that emergency threshold.
She actually said it. It's the staff. Because still in New York State, you can't staff these places. And now what you're doing is, what they don't understand is, as they actually, not allow people to do the non-essential surgeries, surgeons leave. People quit. And this is a thing. Hold on, I'm going to show you this right here if I can. Here. Doctors are leaving the profession at higher rates than before the pandemic. They're leaving like there's no tomorrow. Why? Because they can't do their job. Because there's nothing but rules and regulations that stop them from doing their job. So literally, when we need them most, supposedly, we are firing them and making them leave. This is 4 times the rate than they were before the pandemic. We are losing medical personnel. You're throwing them out and they're quitting. They're going off and getting new jobs. They're literally leaving and getting new jobs. They're not even in medical anymore. This is what we're doing. Who's talking about this? I don't even know. I guess I'm the only crazy man. It's just me. I'm not the guy talking about this. It's me. It's fine. I'm crazy.
You saw that we now have more beds, 159 more beds than we had November 22nd. And so that is a good dynamic in our hospitals that are on this list.
It's a good dynamic. Now we're set.
32 to 28. Some came off, but a few more went on.
Now
this is
set.
Where our hands-on engagement is really making a difference. So there's increase in actual beds available. We've also been finding opportunities for supplemental staffing and emergency personnel. We've deployed the National Guard to assist with, so we could discharge non-COVID patients to nursing homes.
Discharging non-COVID patients to nursing homes. I mean, sending people away from hospitals and nursing homes, what could go wrong? We have no evidence of that ever being a mistake. Oh, we kind of do. If I were her, just saying, if I'm her speech writer, I'm her handler. You know what I don't talk about at all? Nursing homes. That's not even in anything. That's not on any sheet of paper. I don't say nursing home at all if I am in her staff. And so, we got to get them back in the nursing homes. Do we? Is that really the right move?
We added 30 ambulance and EMS teams to assist with those efforts. This is in addition to the private teams. We already have about 12 of those now. So far, 21 teams have been deployed. More are coming online. Again, we're assessing where they need help. listening to the calls for help and be able to respond with staff.
that?
So you can see it. This hospital capacity, if we had not taken steps or we had not been monitoring so close.
Yeah, because you know what? If the government wasn't monitoring hospitals, hospitals would have had no idea how to staff their hospitals. They don't know. They have no idea. Without you, they'd be clueless. There's no way hospitals would know how to staff their own hospitals. They have no idea. Hospital administrators, incompetent, no idea how to. Doctors don't know nothing. There's no way they could do it without you monitoring them. Or, hear me out on this one, Your Majesty, hear me out. You could just leave them alone and let them service their communities. I know, crazy. I know, nuts. Let professionals do their job. You could do that. That's option one. I like that option. Or yours. You monitor everything and make sure everything goes poorly.
This could have been a crisis situation already. As
No,
we
it
saw
couldn't have. It isn't that big of a deal. You just told us
I visited
this.
and talked about today. The number of people hospitalized from COVID is going up, but if they can suspend elective surgeries or make other surge and flex accommodations that we asked them to institute, they're in a far better place, and that's where we find ourselves now. Not spiking the football yet, watching it closely. This could change, but at least there's some stability now in our hospital capacity.
So it's not war.
So let me recap. For our winter surge plan, we're putting $65 million on the table.
I am going to pass this as
booster
just
shots, mask, and all of those
top priorities. Protect the health of New Yorkers, protect the health of the economy. I would like to ask you, if you're watching this, can you tell me one thing she said in that other slide that helps the economy? Yeah, nothing. She just said it.
That we're dealing.
She might say protect the health of New Yorkers, protect the health of the economy, and protect the Queen of England. There's the exact same amount of stuff that protects the Queen of England that protects the health of the economy. Same amount. So she could say that. Our top priorities, protect the health of New Yorkers, protect the health of the economy, protect the Queen of England, and protect, I don't know, ferrets in New York City. That's all the same. No difference. All the same.
With right now, which will become the dominant variant, is not having such serious consequences for those who follow what I just outlined.
See, do what
we
as she
really,
says.
truly don't anticipate.
It'll be fine. Just like the person who isn't there now who got COVID. Okay.
To see any shutdowns. And so we're not going to throw in the towel here. We're going to keep fighting back. We will not surrender to pandemic fatigue as much as we're getting exhausted from this. I'm not. I'm energized by the challenge.
I know you are.
People are just feeling.
Okay, you're energized because you're still getting paid. You're on TV. Your hubby's in pharmaceuticals. You're making a killing. You're going to buy 3 new houses after this. So I'd be energized too. If I knew I was making a killing, if I knew that I'm still getting paid $250,000 a year, even though other people might say they're suffering, if I knew people who were leaving were people who would be voting against me anyway, man, I'd be happy. I'd be energized too. I understand why you're energized. I do.
Enough is enough. I understand that. And as we hit this holiday season, take all these precautions.
Yeah.
Don't isolate.
Okay, take all these precautions, but don't isolate.
Isolation is terrible. It's just so excruciating what people had to go through last year being.
Yeah. Yes, it was excruciating what people had to go through last year. Isolation's terrible. It is. So let me ask you, what was your plan, since you wanted to health the New Yorkers, what was your plan to stop all the overdoses? You didn't have one, do you? Nothing. What was your plan for that? What's your plan for people who are depressed and committing suicide? What's your oh, you don't have one for that. And whose fault was it that everybody was staying inside? Whose fault was it that everybody was in such a terrible position? Whose fault was that?
Hey, your fault.
He's right. It is your fault. I thought that was cool, guys. Hope you enjoyed my little thing there. But yes.
Separated from their loved ones and not even able to visit people in nursing homes. It's a different dynamic. So let's celebrate that we've come this far. We will get through this. We are New Yorkers. We're resilient. Yep. We can get through this holiday season. So I appreciate everything that's been done. I appreciate my team and
your team,
my communications team, my senior staff, and all those who are on the front lines out there every single day. This is a season of gratitude and let's spread holiday joy and love.
Fine.
and not spread COVID. That's all I'm asking. Let's not spread COVID. So thank you very much, everyone.
Let's not spread COVID, even though we're spreading COVID.
Earlier today, you said that state inspectors would be doing spot checks.
Now, this is now the press. The press is supposed to be on our side. Just remember that. The press is supposed to be on our side. So
around the state to ensure that the mask or vax mandates are being enforced.
Yep.
Will those be specifically targeted in the counties where the leaders have said that they will not enforce them?
No.
Now, this person actually asked a question. You said you're going to have inspectors coming out and making sure everyone's doing the mandates. So will these be targeted in specifically the counties that have said they're not going to enforce the mandates? So the reporter's like, aren't you going to punish all those who dare oppose your will? Aren't you going to do that? Your Majesty, there are local barons who will not enforce the Queen's will. Clearly, you will send your enforcers to punish them, won't you?
I'm not targeted to any particular place. We're just going to be lending resources where it's needed.
Lending resources where it's needed. We will just be bribing people, and those who don't do will not get the bribes. Smart. So what she said was, no, peasant, we are not uncultured. I will not send my enforcers to crush them. I will simply ensure that those who enforce the Queen's will be justly rewarded.
Why won't you target the counties that said we won't enforce it? Is it that where specifically the spot checks, not the money, the spot checks would make?
She said, not the money. Why will you not punish those who will not enforce your will? That's what this is a reporter. Why will you not punish those who want to enforce the Queen's will? They are heretics. Burn them all.
Most sense.
I think what we're ignoring is that many businesses are fully compliant. Many individuals are following this. And there are some counties where they want this to be followed, but they just don't have the personnel either. So
see, it's not that they don't believe in it. It's because they don't have the money. And don't remember, most people worship me as a god. So it's fine. Just some people don't, and we'll bribe them.
We're not going to be doing anything other than lending the support
Just
to
bribing
them and having some spot checks and providing the assistance because we've been asked for help. We'll give them resources. We'll give them personnel. We're going to be engaged. We are engaged. This is our policy. This is the New York State requirement that there be a mask worn in any facility that does not require.
It's a New York State requirement. You mean it's your edict?
Vaccination. So that is our rules. And we're here to continue enforcement as well as providing resources for the counties that ask for it.
Governor, given the circumstances, have you thought at all about changing the protocols for your state in the state address, maybe doing that virtually?
We don't have to go any further with this one. I just thought you guys would enjoy that. I love that. Dan says, Lord Vader, we need to send the stormtroopers. That's what she said. The reporter was like, but Lord Vader, the rebels, we must dispatch our elite forces and crush them. She's like, no, we'll just bribe them. They'll be fine. The local warlords will be fine. That's what she just said. I love that. That's very good. Yes. Alice, of course, you say it all the time, and you're right. Requirements and mandates are not laws. You are correct. But I will say the same thing. I always push back on you on this one. If people treat them as laws, they might as well be. You are correct. Logically, you are correct. I'm just saying it doesn't really matter if people treat it that way. So, yes. Avi says, Larry, tough question. Who is stupider, Hochul or DeBlasio? Without question, Hochul is. Without question. 100%. Not even close. Yes. Hochul is not that bright. She just isn't. You could tell how she speaks, the words she uses, the way every time, the stuff she uses, the stuff she says, clearly true. Absolutely. Yes. That's just the way and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying it's reality. You can still be a good leader and not be super intelligent. In fact, the best leaders are not super intelligent. They're intelligent enough, and they're able to lead people who are more intelligent to want to do the job, and they focus the people who are more intelligent onto doing the right job. So you don't have to be that intelligent to be a good leader. It will help, of course, but not required. You can be a good leader and not be that intelligent. The goal is, can you get people who are more intelligent than you to get on board and to move whatever issue you're trying to move forward? That's the best piece. But I hope that answers your question. Yeah. You guys give me a lot of comments. I'm sorry. I want to grab some of them if I can. Let's see here. Just a couple of these. Calora says this woman is robotic. Yeah, I know. Yes. Shelley says, wait, what? The schools are only economy? Clearly you don't know what state you're running into the ground. Yes, most of them don't. Yes, absolutely. Ron says, Cuomo at least had intelligence. This nit was just concerned about her next Botox treatment. Well, look, I don't want to go to Botox because I don't want to go to her looks. I don't want to do that. But if you're going to ask me which person is more intelligent, clearly I was not a fan of Cuomo. I'll say it. That's a nice way of saying it. Clearly I was not a fan. Clearly I do not like the man. I think he's a bad person, a bad human being. But I've never said he was stupid. That's not who he was. He was a smart and savvy monster. That's who he was. And I will always give credit where credit is due. While he was he was a terrible governor and still is a bad person, he is also intelligent. He is all three of those things. Was bad, is bad, and intelligent. They can all be true. So, yes. All righty. Orange Sock says, you rock, Larry. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. All right. See if I can grab this. But Larry, how can someone who's been working in the hospital the past 2 years do their job now without getting a shot that doesn't actually prevent COVID? Ooh. Okay. Joe, here's what I'm going to say. Science, okay? You're not science, all right? Just science. I've won the argument. Science. Done. Save the ferrets. I think we should save the ferrets. I do. I like ferrets. Let's save them. I'm just saying she's done exactly enough in her plan to save the economy as she is doing to save the ferrets. It's the same amount. It's the same amount. Now, Avi asked about DeBlasio, right? He asked about DeBlasio. He did. And DeBlasio was rocking and rolling too. He's got important stuff that he's dealing with. He is so concerned about stuff. Here's what DeBlasio is doing. And his last day is like tomorrow, right? I'm exaggerating, but it's like next week is like his last day. So he's trying to get stuff done. So you know what he did? He decided the most important thing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Was to sign a bill, legislation, that prohibits gas in new construction in New York City.
Good afternoon, everyone.
That's critical.
It is an honor to be here on the steps with all of you
And
today.
all the people are happy
I'm
as
so
can be.
excited to be here in the last ever bill signing of the Bill DeBlasio administration.
Well, that is good. He's finished. I guess that is a good thing. So we can clap for that. He's done. That is kind of a good thing.
Over the past 8 years, many of you have been working with us across government.
Now, the most important piece here, I have to go through this whole thing, but it says New York City leading on climate. Leading on climate. So this is now a rule to ban gas in new construction. Okay. So how is that helping when the odds are you just shut down a nuclear power plant in New York State? The odds are that gas, that electricity, is coming from a gas-powered plant, right? So I guess, in theory, it's not coming directly off of the building. I guess that's true. But it's instead coming off a plant a couple miles away.
Across advocacy groups to fight the climate crisis and improve the lives of New Yorkers.
So I'll ask, to improve that the life of New Yorkers. Pollution. Is that the number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 killer of New Yorkers? Yeah, I don't think anywhere near that at all. Not even close. COVID kills more than that. I mean, if you're going to pick one, you're going to roll your 20 how to die, pick one. I think you want to roll like a 4-sided or a 6-sided at least and get in the top 5. Something.
You've rallied for world-leading climate policies. You've pushed us to go further. And
now what this does, by the way, those you don't know, this is basically a bill that decides that, this is going to change how we build in New York City. It is going to cost New York City developers, give or take, $5 billion, give or take, in that area. So I would ask you, if you were to look at New York and say, what's one of the biggest problems in New York? Most people would say the cost of housing, homelessness. So what should we do? Make it more expensive to build homes. It's as if they're trying to be stupid. It's like, you know what would be the worst thing we could do? What's the biggest problem in New York City? You know what it is? Homelessness. That's a big deal. Oh, cost of living. Oh my God, cost of living is terrible. There are people with 3, 4, 5, 6 roommates. I'm not joking. If you live in New York City, you know what I'm talking about. So what should we do? You know what the critical piece is? Making it more expensive to build stuff. That'll solve the problem, because then people will be healthier as they leave New York City. I don't know. whatever, or no one will build new stuff, and then developers will leave and build someplace else, like Nashville or something. I guess that will work. But the problem is they're proud and happy. They can't believe it. Watch how happy they are. Hold on. Here's another person coming in. She's coming up. She's happy too. There are multiple people happy about this.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Sadia Hawk, and I
Hey,
am the
Sadia.
chairperson of NYPIRG's Board of Directors.
Okay.
And I'm a Brooklyn College student.
Nice.
NYPIRG is a student advocacy group working with college students from all over the state
Yeah.
on issues like higher education equity and generational climate justice.
Critical stuff. You are going to have such a great job when you get yeah, maybe you're not. I guess you're going to the government, I guess.
We're a proud member of the Gas-Free NYC Coalition, alongside We Act for Environmental Justice, New York Communities for Change, and Food and Water Watch.
That works.
We are very excited to celebrate the signing of Intro 2317,
That's
the
good.
Gas-Free NYC bill, into law. Today, New York becomes the largest city in the country with a gas ban.
Love that. That's proud. It's the largest city in the country to have a gas ban, because people are running out of our state, running out of our city. Cost of living's high. What's your priority? Gas ban. Now, am I against a gas ban? I'm actually not against the idea of some people deciding that they think gas is bad in the building. Maybe it is. It's fine. I'm happy with that. But again, you have a government yelling and screaming that COVID's killing us all. Okay, this is the issue. You see people leaving our city like there's no tomorrow, leaving our state, it's no tomorrow, and your number one priority, you got to rush to make cost of living higher in New York City. Let me ask you, young student, where are you going to live once you graduate? Once your student loans become due, where are you going to live? You're going to have 3 roommates unless your parents are wealthy. That's your issue. If your parents are wealthy, it doesn't matter. And of course, wealthy people don't care because they can afford it. But if you're an average kid, and if your parents aren't wealthy, you're not going to be able to live in the city. And you're going to be mad again. You're going to be back out in the street yelling, rent's too damn high. Yeah, because you passed this stupid bill.
New York City's gas ban for new buildings keeps fossil fuels out of buildings and keeps residents healthy.
There we go.
It will fight the climate crisis, create clean energy jobs.
That'll just, if you ban it, it will create clean energy jobs.
Cut deadly air pollution and deadly gas explosions.
Banning stuff always creates jobs. I mean, she's not wrong. There is some truth to that. Banning stuff does create jobs. It just creates grifting jobs, but it definitely does create jobs. So you might say, well, wait a minute. Okay, so just this crazy woman. No. There's more. There's tons of people who are on board with this thing. It isn't just her.
Thank you so much, Sadia. Next up, we'll hear from John Mandyke, CEO of Urban Green Council, an organization dedicated to sustainable buildings and which was instrumental in the shaping of this law. John?
Now, here's that's important that many of you don't know. All of these nonprofit organizations, where do they get money from? Do you think these people in the back are writing big checks to them? No. Do you think developers are writing big checks to them? No, you're screwing them over. Who's writing checks? You and me are. They're all getting their money from government grants. They're getting their money from government grants. So you might go, Avi might go, I'm not paying for that. Yeah, you are. Your tax money is going to the federal government. They're then writing for grants. They're getting grant money from the federal government and state government, and we're paying for these people to do this to us. We are paying them to screw us. Here's money. Punch me again. That's what we're doing. This guy, I am getting a paycheck to do nothing. Yes.
We're here today because of a simple but powerful truth.
Tell me.
Which is furnaces, boilers, and hot water heaters in New York City emit more carbon than all uses of electricity combined.
Look at that. That will solve the problem, right? If we would just do this in New York City, global warming's over. All right. I love it. Finally, once he signs this, global warming is now over, because that's a simple truth that matters tremendously, I think.
They emit more carbon than all transportation combined.
Look
in
at
fact,
that.
they emit more carbon than anything else in our city.
So we are not going to let them emit that carbon at all in the city. We're going to let them emit that carbon at a power plant someplace down the road, because that'll solve it, I think.
This law begins to change that reality.
Yeah, it will.
To tackle our largest source of carbon so that we get to the climate.
I thought it was cow farts. Isn't that what it is? Isn't it the thing we're talking about? I guess not.
The
all right, I thought
future
it was
we
golf
want with cleaner
Looking
air
buildings.
to breathe.
There we go.
And what makes this day so meaningful and cause for celebration
Okay, tell me.
is that we're the largest city on the planet to take this bold step.
Or the dumbest. Either one. I mean, could be largest. I might go with dumbest, but either one of those two. Yeah, we are dumb. We are going to make sure no one lives here.
It gives us hope.
Yeah,
it gives us pride.
We will have
and it gives us motivation to build on this momentum so we can go farther.
Bingo! We'll go farther. We'll make sure that no one can live in this city. We'll make sure the only people who live in this city are bazillionaires. And because they won't want to live here, they'll move out too. We will abandon this city within 20 years. Guaranteed. There'll be no one in this city. Except it'll be like Will Smith in I Am Legend. That's what this city will become. We'll teach you.
Urban Green is a nonprofit organization dedicated.
He is the boss of a nonprofit organization that's getting money to do what? This, I guess? Yeah, there's more.
Extra height.
Okay.
Extra height. All right. Peggy is a giant in our eyes.
There we go.
Absolutely right.
She's going to talk some stuff too.
Hello. So I'm Peggy Shepard with We Act for Environmental Justice based in Harlem. And as a core leader of the Gas-Free New York City Coalition with New York Communities for Change.
Now, why I keep bringing this up? Why do any of you care? Why do any of you care? I don't care, but you should. Because every one of these is another nonprofit that's government funded. You're paying those 17 things and the coalition for blah, 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 and the blah, blah, blah for so-and-so, and the equity change for so-and-so. All of those are government funded nonprofits that you're paying for. How many people have money? They're all grifters. Now, am I against nonprofits? Not at all. In fact, the reverse. I love nonprofits. I think they're very valuable. If they're donor funded. If they're donor funded. Because if they're donor funded, that means the community actually cares. The people are prepared to put their money into something as a nonprofit. I love that. I wish there were more of them. I wish we were filled with nonprofits of people donating money that they want to give to organizations. That would be amazing. No, they're government funded. How do I know that? All right. I'm going to tell you why I know that. Here was the other thing that Bill DeBlasio was doing, because he cares so much about New York. He is ensuring that he gives a check of almost $11 million to the Old Stone House. Yeah. That's your taxpayer dollars going to some nonprofit. If you care so much about the Old Stone House, and maybe you do, right? Avi was just crying to me about how much he loves the Old Stone House. So then, Avi, write a check for $11 million and fix it yourself. I don't have a problem with that. If people care about the Old Stone House, then let them pay for it, right? Alice was in tears about it. She was like, I need to raise enough money. Okay, Alice, I know you love the Old Stone House. I know you and Avi both love the Old Stone House. I got it. I'm not against you loving it. Write a check and fix it. Find a way for people to care about it. No, I will petition the state or the city and get taxpayer dollars. All these nonprofits run the same way. It sounds like an interesting nonprofit. It's not. It's another grift. This is a grift too. That's why you should care. Even though you might go, I don't care, but this comes into your town too, right? And a lot of this stuff is just more money. Now, again, the city is struggling. People are leaving. The state is struggling. People are leaving. So what's the answer? Give more money away. If you notice, the same thing, the one thing that Governor Hochul was saying and Mayor DeBlasio was saying, it's all about giving more money out. Which one of them, either of them, talked about how to change the environment so that we can thrive and survive better? Who talked about that? Nobody. Because they don't. Their answer is laws and giving money. That's it. Rules and give money. Nothing else. They have no idea how to do anything else. It's not in their mind. Last thing I'll give you for my mayor. I said I was going to do both. Last thing I'm going to do for you, my mayor. Now, remember, my mayor's gone in like 8 days. He's got like 8 days left, and he is not stopping. He is like, I will devastate this city to the last. What, how many days I got left? I'm going to keep punching. This city will be destroyed before I leave it. God damn it, it'll be destroyed no matter what I do. That's what he's trying to do. And he's punching. Here's what he's doing now.
317A, which takes a huge step forward by establishing a ban on the combustion of fossil fuels in new buildings. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Going to destroy that.
But first, let's talk about intro 2442A to
you know that one.
Establish the Office of Community Mental Health. And this
the Office of Community Mental Health. I'm not making this up. You're like, Larry, what? Yeah. It's the Office of Community Mental Health. Because there's a horrible mental health problem in New York City. What should we do? We could make life easier in New York City. We could make it better for us to connect with our family and friends. We could do that. We could start with the stigma. We could help people who are homeless and not put them in jail, but instead put them in facilities or give them, we could do that. Or we could put money into an office of whatever this will be, which will simply be another grift, more government jobs that he will give his friends, more government jobs who are in the therapy industry. You think I'm joking? You know I'm not joking.
It's a big step forward.
It's not a big step forward.
For this city. Ever since 2014, Charlene and I have focused on the question of mental health. We came to realize it was the underlying reality in so many of the challenges we faced in this city.
So you thought, you know what? Since 2014, I've been worried about mental health. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut the city down, make people feel more lonely, scare them, make them wear masks so they can't connect to each other, and lock them in their homes for 2 years. Because mental health.
Folks with mental health challenges that weren't getting help, weren't getting support.
It's true. You're all right. We agree.
Thrive NYC revolutionized the approach to mental health and helped to
Thrive failed miserably. Thrive was a disaster. For those who don't know, Thrive was literally a $800 million theft, is what that was. If you think I'm making it up, you can do your own homework. Thrive was an $800 million theft. And if it worked, then you wouldn't have to make your Office of Community Mental Health, would you? Because Thrive would have done what it's supposed to do. Thrive failed, so what do? Let's put more money into something.
Stigmatize mental health and the discussion of it in this city. Huge difference. But we realized we needed to go farther, create a vision.
Don't we always have to go farther? Don't we always? Right? Didn't Hochul just say that? And now you said that? And then the other dude, the bald dude, he said that too? We always have to go. How come nothing ever gets fixed? It's weird how nothing ever gets better or fixed. It's always we did it, but you know.
Mental health for all.
Mental health for all.
The mayor's office of community.
By the way, if you want to make Democrats happy, just say for all at the end of anything. Doesn't matter what it is. I really love chicken. We should have chicken for all. Do you like coffee? I like coffee. We'll have a new plan. Larry Sharpe's new bill. Coffee for all. Done. I'm in. I win the Democratic nomination. Coffee for all. Chicken for all. Coffee and chicken for all. Done deal. How can you go wrong? Protein and caffeine. Life is good.
Mental health is what's going to allow this work to deepen and reach more and more New Yorkers as a permanent office.
Permanent office.
On something that
okay, I'll give him one thing. See, DeBlasio's honest. He really is, right? People often tell me who's worse, DeBlasio or Cuomo. Cuomo, because while Cuomo was smart, he was also devious and a liar. DeBlasio is just delusional. But he tells you what he's thinking. Like DeBlasio will tell you to your face, I don't know, that's not your money. Shelley, that's my money, Shelley. See, you thought it was your money. It's not. It's mine. He'll tell you that to your face. He will tell you he's taking your money. You know, no, this is permanent. It's never going away. I'm making new stuff on my way out, never going away. We're banning stuff. He says it. We're banning stuff. You see him on TV? He talks to people like Shmerkanis. He goes, no, where mandates work. It forces people to do stuff. We scare them into doing things. He's totally honest. He's not lying to you. He really believes this. He is on board 100%.
Used to not be talked about at all, but now is talked about, is focused on because of our First Lady.
You know, it's funny. Prior to his wife, no one talked about mental illness before, ever. He just said that. It wasn't talked about until our First Lady. He just said that. And he believes that. He said it with a straight face. Straight face. Without me and my wife, you would be useless. Okay, Joe? Without him, you have no hope.
Many, many things I love about my wife, but what she has done to just give people a hope that
Yeah.
They can be seen,
So he
heard,
says it.
loved,
He says the quiet
respected,
stuff out loud.
reached.
He does. It's true. He definitely does.
Her work has had just the most profound impact. So it is my...
It's good. Oh, Simeon, you're right. Coffee and chicken for all is the greatest thing as vegans. You're right. Oh, all right. Coffee and chicken or chicken substitute for all. See that? I got it, Simeon. I got it. I was thinking, right? I got you. Either one of those. We could do it. Coffee and chicken or chicken substitute for all. Done. There we go. Thank you. I just want to make sure we got that. Yes, absolutely. So I just thought you might enjoy that. So yes, they've gotten rich off us, off the people. Yes. Yes, that's correct. Absolutely. Yes. Democrat lottery show up for governor. Coffee for all. I've won. Absolutely. That's the end game. I actually win. It's very good. Yes. Dan says, I'm concerned Office of Community Mental Health could put the Onion and Babylon be out of business. No one needs satire anymore. Yeah, see, there we go. But that's the point, right, Dan? Why in the world would you think that the answer is to create an Office of Community Mental Health versus creating a better environment for people to thrive on their own? A whole lot harder. A whole lot harder to do. But that's the real answer. That is the real answer. Yes. So, all right. See if I can grab a couple more. You guys give a lot. I appreciate that. Yes. All right. So if I can keep going here. Frank says, Eric says, I'm sorry, Eric Frankel, we gave Equinor State Oil $400 million and 75 acres of Brooklyn waterfront land to build and assemble wind turbines. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about. Thank you, Eric. Yes. We threw all that money to do what? To do what? Absolutely. Yes. Alice says, if government funded is through our taxpaying dollars. Well, at a state level, yes, Alice, but sometimes at a federal level, they just print money, which is still, in the long run, our tax dollars, but not directly our tax dollars. When it comes to the state, it's almost always directly our tax dollars, and not always tax. Usually tax, but also sometimes fines and fees when they use law enforcement as a profit center. Sometimes at the federal level, it is in the long run our taxes, but up front, it's just magic money debt. So it depends on what you're talking about, right? That's it. So yeah. All right. Let's see here. Shelley says, I'm going to have to say dumbest for $100 billion. Very nice. That's good. I love that. Yes. Blaze says, defund the colleges. If we had a Nazi professor, we could rightly get rid of them. What? Why do we allow commies to teach? I guess 100 million debt is not enough for them. Here's the answer. I'm going to give you the answer for colleges. The actual answer that will solve this issue. Two parts of this. One of them is college debt. The other one is college in the future. College debt. While I know it feels good, I get it, to just abolish college debt. It does feel good. I know it does. I understand that will feel good. But if you do that, one, you'll be teaching the college kids nothing. You'll be teaching the colleges nothing. And you'll be punishing all the people who either paid off all their debt or worked their way through college. All bad, except for a few people who just get a free, terrible education that wasn't worth it anyway. So if you're going to do something with debt, here's how you handle debt. You make a negotiation with the banks right away and say, the debt is now halved, period. And maybe the government absorbs half or some portion of it in some way, shape, or form, or the banks just absorb it and we renegotiate. Doesn't matter. Either way, we're going to bail out banks anyway. So you might as well have the banks do it anyway, right? The banks are getting free money anyway from the government. So you might as well just have the banks absorb half the debt. And whatever is remaining in that half, you allow each of the people there to renegotiate it. So they can renegotiate all their loans at half. Now, all of a sudden, that becomes manageable for the current person who is in college debt. They can renegotiate their debt at half. Second, if bankruptcy is appropriate for the individual, and it might be, you should be able to get rid of the debt through bankruptcy. If bankruptcy is the right answer for you, go bankrupt, your debt's forgiven. That's how bankruptcy works. And people go through bankruptcy. Do that if you want to. That's part one. But part two to that one, it's the second part to the first part. And that is all the people who worked their way through college or paid. Every one of those people should get some type of credit to be able to go back to college if they want to. And if they don't want to go, then their child or children should also get some form of credit for them. So you're giving them something in return. It is not a perfect plan, but it's the best plan that says the people to the loans out have some form of responsibility. those who gave those loans have some form of responsibility, and you can renegotiate it so that people can survive and still thrive in their life, and you give something back. For some people, it's symbolic, but it's something back to the people who paid their debts off and or who worked their way through college. So you create at least some way of making that work. Now, that's the first piece. The second part of that is you have to make sure that this doesn't happen anymore. How do you do that? You allow colleges to act literally like car dealerships. I'm not joking. Car dealerships now, if you go to a car dealership now and you buy a Ford or you buy a Volkswagen, you buy a Toyota, whatever you buy. Back in the day, if you're old enough, you remember, you used to go to a bank. A bank would give you a loan for the car. You pay for the car in cash. The bank would hold the deed. You pay the bank back the loan for the car. Those days are long over. That doesn't happen anymore. Now, if you go buy a Ford or a Honda or whatever, you go to the Ford financing company, the Honda financing company. The company itself acts as a bank and finances the car themselves. Allow now, instead, colleges the same thing. Colleges have to fund their own loans. Imagine if a college has to fund its own loan. Okay, it'll make money in the long run. Good for it. The college will now become a bank. It'll make money. But what if their college degrees suck and people can't get jobs? They can't pay back the loan. The college is screwed. I've just aligned the colleges with the students together. They now have to make sure that people get good jobs to pay the loans back. Otherwise, they don't get their loans. If your college is crappy and people don't get jobs from your college, you lose money and you go under. Good. You're a crappy college, which is most colleges, but you're a crappy college. Or you have to lower how much it costs to get your degree because people can't afford to pay it back. They should. But not just that. You got to teach something that makes sense. Right now, you don't have to anymore. To your point, you can just, Blaze, you can have anybody as a teacher. Who cares? The goal of that school is to give you a sheet of paper that you can wipe your bottom with. That's it. That's their goal. I've given you a sheet of paper. Have a nice day. But I can't find a job. I don't care. But I can't pay my loan back. I don't care. Good luck. That's current college. But all of a sudden, the college has to make sure they get paid back. Oh, they care now. And that college professor, he's fired if he can't provide value because I can't afford him anymore. That's how you fix the problem ongoing. That will change both now and ongoing. Now, I ask you, who talks about that? Nobody. Nobody. That's an actual plan to fix something. That will actually do something that will actually work. Yeah, that would work. Joe says, in-house college loans. You want to know something? Yeah. Yes, they'd have to actually do something. Shelley says colleges could borrow against their endowments. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Alice says, I've seen people that went to college and end up in an everyday job. Yes, you see it here in New York all the time, in the city, all the time. You see it, colleges, people who have master's degrees, and they're working as a barista at Starbucks. Most master's degrees, useless. Most are, not all. There's exceptions, obviously. If you're going to be like an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, clearly you're going to be a credentialed professional. You need to have these degrees, obviously. You're going to be in academia. Of course you do. But the average person isn't a lawyer, a doctor, or engineer in academia. The average person works in the regular world. The average person does. That person, master's degree, almost always useless. There's some minor exceptions, but almost always useless. So why would you get one if you can't get a job? Yeah. Ryan says, no, maybe graduates actually go to work in the field of study. If the stuff they learn in college mattered, yes, it doesn't. That's the point. It doesn't. It's useless. It doesn't. That's why they don't. Yes. So anyway, I just thought that'd be interesting for you guys. Simeon, free money for all. That's even better. Oh, you should have been Democrat. See, that's your problem. Joe says bankruptcy for all. That's it. There we go. Bankruptcy for all. Or Joe, terrible education for all. You were killing it tonight, Joe. Nicely done. I love that. Very good. I love that. Very good. You were rocking it. Love that. So, all right. So yeah, let me, that's very good. Shelly says, I have 3 college degrees. I've only used the one in accounting. It comes with handy when you work anywhere. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's the good one. I'm glad you got one. That's good. Good for you. I appreciate that. So I do want to grab a couple of things if I could. Please, guys, head over to libertarianism.com. I know I bug you about it every single time, and I'll bug you again. Libertarianism.com. Click that link. Check it out. It's a place where you can learn about what libertarianism is actually about. It's about happiness. It's about individuals being able to find what they think is right in their life. Please click that link. Why, Larry? Why do we click your dumb link? Because they're our sponsor, because they help support the show, because libertarianism matters. And if you click that link and you share it with others, somebody's going to click on that link and look at what libertarianism is about, and someone's going to say, yes, I like it, I'm in. This is going to help grow the movement. And I care about the movement, clearly. If I didn't care about the movement, I wouldn't have taken on a sponsor called libertarianism.com. If I didn't care about the movement, clearly I do. So please click that link, share it, take some of that. There's cool swag too. You can get cool shirts and stuff. So there's all kind of cool stuff there. Take it, share it on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're going to go, Insta, whatever is your cool thing of the day. Do those things. Please check it out. Enjoy it and share it. It does matter. They're our sponsor. And of course, as you see all the whole time, like, comment, share. If you want to support me, I appreciate that. LarrySharpe.com/donate. It's the end of the quarter. My report comes out soon. Not a bad idea if you want to help out. That would be awesome. But if you don't have the cash, no worries. Like, comment, share is free. And so is libertarianism.com. Also free. Share it. Makes a world of difference. If you can help out, that would be great. Yes. All right, here we go. Botox for all. It's funny. Joe says, libertarians.com. Thank you, my friend. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. David says they need to redo how certifications as education is done, like law, CPA, and other professional degrees. I would agree. I think a lot of that has to be retooled, but right now, David, there's no incentive to do so, right? If you give them incentive, I think you'll see things change, right? They'll do it if you give them incentive. If you align goals, you'll see it happen. Right now, there's not much of a need for it. Avi says, college is a scam. If the schools and industries really were interested in giving young people experience and a chance to try an apprenticeship program, they would be doing it. Yes, it's free, no financial commitments, and it provides real work experience. Instead, we tell kids to borrow money. They don't have to pay. They don't have with no plan to pay it back. Stupid. Agreed. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Lane says, do you promise to tweet when you become governor? If you remember when I was running last time, I did a show called The Gov Shack. It was a weekly show I was doing to keep connected with the people as I was running. And after I was done with my run, I started a Sharpe Way so that I could keep talking to people. I have to keep talking. I actually took this idea. I think I tell some people this. I took this idea from the New York governor. I think Giuliani started it, if I'm not mistaken. He used to do a Thursday morning radio show, WOR radio, an hour every Thursday. And then Bloomberg, when he took over, he also did it. DeBlasio stopped. But those two were doing a Thursday show. And every time they were doing a show, people would connect with the mayor. I thought it was a great idea. So I copied it. So will I still tweet and will I still be on social media? Yes. Will I still be connected? Yes. For those of you who know, I'm literally calling people almost every day. I'm on the phone calling people, saying hi, saying what's going on, raising awareness, asking for favors, asking for money, doing all those things every single day. So I have to. And the reason why I have to, Lane, is if I win this thing, I'm going to have an assembly that is against me. There's no way I can move anything forward if the people aren't pushing forward to make it happen. And get people to push forward. And they won't if I'm not connected. A lot of people talk about grassroots. If you've seen me, I am really trying to be grassroots. And this is the only way I get anything done. There's no way I could become governor and get stuff done if I don't have the people with me. I'll just get stopped by the establishment. So yes, I will have to do it 100%. So I hope that was clear at least. So are you having another fundraiser? I am next Monday. It's already out. If you look at it, Monday, 4 to 8, I'm doing Larrython 2.0. Yes, Larrython 2.0 next Monday, the 27th, 4 to 8 p.m. I hope you guys will enjoy it. 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern, obviously. So yes, let me grab a couple more of these. A lot of you guys gave me a lot of comments. I missed some. I was so busy yapping. I was so busy laughing at how horrible this is. I'm sorry to get to all of your comments. I'll try to get some of them if I can that ran by so fast. So anyway, all right. Let's see here. Alva says more wasteful spending. When do they test? When do they test or do things for the county and states and forget about everything else? Yeah, that's the problem, right? The tests. I would go, Alice, the same way I would go with everything. If I'm worried about my population, I create an environment to where people who want to be tested can get the test, and people who want the vaccine can get the vaccine. Then I walk away. That's it. Tests are here. Vaccines are here. Enjoy. Do what you feel is appropriate. Your local counties can figure this stuff out. They know the counties and the areas better than I do. They know communities better than I do. And people will somehow, over the course of thousands of years, parents have been taking care of their kids. Why would I think a parent wouldn't do what that parent thinks is best for their child? Might they make a mistake? Sure. Parents are humans. They make mistakes. But if a parent makes a mistake, I hope we can support that family. But if masses of people make masses of mistakes, how can we possibly support them? We can't. So, yes, that is wasteful. Allow people to be able to access everything they need, and then they'll do what they want as they can. It doesn't even have to be free. It doesn't have to be free. If you allow many large companies, particularly I'll give you an example of law firms as an example. Many large law firms, everyone that I know, has a pro bono department or section, right? It's a department that does work for free. A part of their law firm does work for free. How in the world can a law firm do any work for free? No one getting paid for that? Of course people being paid for that. But the person or the company or the individual they're working for is not paying them. Who's paying those people? The company is. Well, how can the company pay them? Because they spend so much, they get so much profit from other clients that they're able now to give away some of their services for free. That is a very common thing, right? Many companies who even don't do things for free will give away things, for samples or something, right? Because they make enough money on other aspects, they can give something away for free or cheap, either one, very cheap or free. It's a common thing. Well, if you remember what I was talking about, allowing these nonprofits, local churches, VFWs, right? American Legions, to make these things and sell them. People would buy them and they'll make money on them. This is they're a nonprofit. They're not trying to make money. So whatever money they get left over, they then buy the free ones and give the free ones out. That happens all the time. So now, Alice, if you want a mask or you want a test or you want a vaccine or whatever you want, you can go someplace local that will either charge you. And if you want to support that organization, you will. You'll pay for it because you want to support the organization. Or they'll have a spot for you to take it for free. Happens all the time. Why couldn't we do that now? And as long as government will facilitate that, you could get what you want when you want it and support the organization that you want to support. Maybe you care about your local church or your local VFW or your local Knights of Columbus or whatever. You care about them. Awesome. You care about them? Pay them. Why? Because you care. I love it. And I shouldn't decide what that is, right? I don't decide that. You do. That's the piece. So yes. Shelley says, wow, she's a failure. She was, right? That person was terrible. Oh my God. Yes. And they were like, you know what we need to do? You're horrible. Let's make sure we put you in charge. Only government. Only government. That's it. Absolutely. So yes. All right. Jim says, what the F does she know about war? I would say nothing. Literally nothing. It just sounds cool. And she thinks she's tough. So yes. All right. Let's see here. Avi says Maj is at Larrython. It's true. That's true. Yes, absolutely. Larry and Maj in one room. Well, one virtual room. Is so much libertarianism in one place even legal? Probably not, but Maj will not care. If you know Maj, he will not care. Yes, absolutely. Brian says, Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. But I will be doing tomorrow, for those who don't know, I'll be doing a very special Christmas show tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. That is what I'll be doing. 1 p.m. Eastern. Yes. All right. Let's see here. So can I drive you around Western New York State some for Full Shop 2022? Of course you may. I'll be out there again probably in February or March. I'll be out there again. So yes, absolutely. Yes. All right. Let's see here. Less government, less wasteful spending seems pretty simple to me. I'm in. I think that's a great idea. Yes. I think it's a great idea. I'm in. Absolutely. So, all righty. Let's see here. Guys, again, libertarians.com if you can. Like, comment, share. I'm letting you guys run. It's been a great night. I hope you were entertained. I hope it was funny and interesting. And I hope you understood why I said what I said and why it mattered. I hope you did. I will see most of you, I hope, tomorrow at 1 for my special Christmas show. Otherwise, have a Merry Christmas for those who celebrate. Other holidays, if you celebrate them, please enjoy. Maybe I'll do a Kwanzaa show on Monday or Tuesday. Maybe I'll do that too. Something interesting for you guys to see. I will see you all very soon.